Hey guys, it is pretty windy up here, so hopefully the sound quality is going to be okay on this, but I've just finished another training session and I wanted to do a follow-up from the last video where I talked about forms practice. It generated a lot of really interesting discussion. It was great to hear from you guys about your thoughts on forms in Chinese martial arts, but I also wanted to clear up a few things and talk a little bit more about forms practice itself, because I feel like, you know, we need to make sure that we're on the same page and that when we're talking about forms practice, that we are all essentially talking about the same thing. So I get the feeling that when a lot of people think about forms practice, they're thinking about this idea of you have one training session for an hour or however long it is, and you know, you're going through 10-15 different forms, you're doing like one form from start to finish and then immediately doing another form, and you're just kind of running through all your forms, basically trying to remember them. And you know, there is value in doing that from time to time. If you've learnt a lot of forms, of course you need to remember them, and doing forms from start to finish one after another is certainly a good cardio and endurance exercise, so it is something definitely worth doing from time to time, but I don't feel like that should be the bulk of your forms practice, and it's certainly not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about forms practice. So here in China, and I've seen it's been the same in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, in Southeast Asia, like most other places where you're training in a traditional way, the way that forms practice is approached is somewhat different from how I've seen a lot of people doing it in the West. The other thing worth mentioning here is that one thing that surprised me, because most of my martial arts training has been done here in China, one thing that surprised me is that a lot of people in the West, when they're learning a form, they learn a form in one go. They learn it in one class. You know, they learn an entire piece of choreography, and then they basically spend the next few weeks or whatever just trying to remember the sequence of movements. The way that we train here in China, and as I say, it's been the same pretty much in most places in Asia that I've been, is that when you're learning a form, it tends to take a period of anything from 1 to 6 months, depending on the complexity of the form, the length of it, the how fast you pick things up, the conservativeness of the teacher. Some teachers are very old school and very, you know, ensure that you are, you know, they want to slow down the learning process as much as possible, for whatever reason. And so what happens is that you learn the form piece by piece over the period of however long it takes you to learn it. So for example, you go see your teacher today and you'll learn, you know, the opening sequence, and then you'll be expected to go off, practice it, develop it, and then when the next time they see you, if they're happy with how it looks, they'll give you the next piece, the next combination or short sequence of movements, and gradually you'll be learning the form piece by piece as you go through until you get to the end. And again, how long that takes really depends on various factors, but at least the process is learning it step by step, piece by piece. And as you're doing that, the benefit of that is that you are ensuring that every detail is really understood, that you're drilling and developing the muscle memory, the good body mechanics, the good structure in each section of the form, as well as, of course, ensuring that you're understanding the form, because generally how this goes as well is as you're learning the sequence of movements, you're learning this short combination or this short set, the teacher will then break down the application to you, explain it, show it. You know, you can then practice it with a partner, you can try and apply it in sparring if that's something you're into. Again, I know not everybody is into that, but the fact is that you're taking each piece step by step. So I want to just interrupt this video briefly to talk to you guys about a product that I use quite a lot myself. Now, I think you know me well enough by now to know that I would not endorse just anything. If I'm going to promote something, it's only going to be something that I truly believe in and something that I genuinely do use myself. Some of you may know that I also work as a journalist and geopolitical analyst, and having this line of work has made me acutely aware of the biases that are present in a lot of mainstream media reporting on world events. And as such, it becomes harder to know the to know what's really going on and to separate reality from the narratives that are being spun. And so one of the products that I use to get around that is something called Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if they have a political bias, how reliable their reporting is, and who owns them. You can verify your information and know where the news is coming from. With Ground News, you can see what the media is exaggerating, sensationalizing, over or under reporting. You can see who funds each publication, compare coverage, and think critically about the information you consume. Go to check.ground.news/monkeystealspeach to check it out now. If you subscribe for my link, you get 40% off the Vantage subscription. And so by the time you finally finish the form, you are very certain that you have a good understanding of the form, you can practice it fairly well, and then you can go on and continue to refine it in your own practice. And so that's pretty much the process of learning a form. And as to how you generally practice, and at least when I'm talking about practicing forms, I tend to follow that same pattern. So I'll take a certain sequence and I'll spend a period of time working on it. Yeah, I like to, sometimes run through my entire form, particularly, like I said in the last video, when I'm training late at night under the stars. That's quite therapeutic, and it's very good for your mind to kind of, tune out from the outside world, to kind of, get yourself into a meditative state. And it does make you feel good. But the general bulk of your training, I feel, is to be isolating certain segments from the form, practicing it in different ways. So you can practice doing it as fast as you can. You can practice doing it slowly and really focusing on details. You can try just doing it as relaxed as you can and trying to feel the flow and feel the way your body moves. Try doing it with full tension in the body to help develop those power pathways and develop the muscle and the tendons. You can do it on the spot, you can do it up and down as a line drill, but the key is to be isolating and repeating. That's the solo practice. And then the partner practice will be to partner up with someone, to have them throw different kinds of attacks at you, to practice using just that movement in different kinds of scenarios. You can do this with as much or little resistance as you want. You can put gloves on and go full out if you're already quite comfortable with the move. If you want to be more technical and just get used to the feeling of it and kind of work out more of the details, then I would suggest doing it without any contact and slowing it down and being a bit more cooperative so you can feel what you're doing. There's also, some movements, not every move's in forms, but some movements do have specific partner drills that go with them as well. So that's another thing that you can practice and isolate to develop muscle memory and good habits and reactions, reflexes, timing, distancing, all that sort of stuff. So essentially, I just wanted to do this short video to clarify that that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about forms practice. For the most part, I'm not talking about just doing 10, 15 forms all in a row, one after another, and that's training Kung Fu. That's something to help you remember forms once in a while, but that is not the core and essence of developing Kung Fu, and it most definitely is not what I'm talking about when I'm saying practicing forms. So, hope you enjoyed that video. So I hope this video cleared that up for you guys. I'm not sure how you approach your practice, but I would be interested to hear how you guys go about practicing forms, if you do it the way that I say, or if you have another method. Really, really interested to see how everyone trains and what they think is the best way for developing skill practice, particularly with using forms as a way of developing skill. Also, if any of you guys are here in Shanghai, I've recently started a Taiji Mantis class on Saturday mornings. So if that's something you guys are interested in and you're in Shanghai, just email me at will@monkeystealspeach.com and we can discuss details, and you're welcome to come along and train with us. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.